Charlotte Reid bent at the knees and heaved. The shovel arced overhead, catapulting the dead and dismembered victim of violence over the fence and out of her yard. "Bury your own dead," she hollered, then side-eyed Glory. "Must you always involve yourself with the groundhogs?" This was the 7th such oversized rodent to breach the border in as many days. What they were fleeing, she wasn't certain, but they arrived bloody, wild-eyed, and frantic, which served only to fire her dog's bloodlust. "Must you?" Glory had the good sense to feign remorse. Fiercely protective and easily bored, the large, thick-furred canine intimidated most with her aloof disposition and steady stare. Indeed, they had just cause to worry, as Glory was quite capable of dragging an adult human down the street. Not that she tried. Yet. Her neighbors, however, would make excellent test subjects, if only they'd emerge from the house long enough. Not only did she not know their names, she was not at all certain she could pick them out in a lineup. 2 men, a dark-haired woman, and their cook. Charlotte had tried introducing herself, but the cook had opened the door, stared at her as she spoke, then grunted something in an unfamiliar language while flapping a hand at her in a universal motion for "go away." The rest kept to themselves. Lights appeared and disappeared in the windows. Curls of smoke rose from the chimney. Mysterious individuals came and went, almost always at night, and wrapped in hooded cloaks. Absolute ridiculousness. She'd introduced herself to the owners of the other home bordering these odd neighbors, but Charlie Timms and his wife hadn't been able to tell her much at all, save the strange owners that arrived a little over 2 years ago. The neighborhood had grown accustomed to the curious bird calls and no longer paid it much mind, though they, too, were, understandably, also concerned about the sudden appearance of mangled groundhogs in their own yard this past week. Who burns coal and wraps themselves in wool in the middle of a heat wave? She huffed. Are they cold-blooded reptiles? Glory sighed. As one forced to wear a fur coat year-round, she was in complete agreement. Their neighbors were insane, quite possibly criminal. This was what came of letting her brother find her a rental property. In the midst of wrapping up an excavation in the Dakota Territory, she'd wired ahead to inform him of her new position at the Peabody Museum of Natural History, asking that he find her suitable accommodations. For her, for Glory, for her fossils. Hiram had chosen what would have been the perfect house, going so far as to inform her of the aviary on the adjacent property, assuming her enthusiasm for all things feathered would make her fast friends with like-minded neighbors.